Yo, Chicago, if you ain't up on the Morning Riot.
107.5 WGCI, Tony scoring the Morning Riot on your radio, and in the studio, none other than my man, Chicago's own Kanye West in the building. The Yeezus tour has hit town. How did the hometown folks receive you last night, man?
It was great, man. Y'all got to come to the show. Y'all got to see it for yourself.
I know. I got to see it, man. I've been checking it out online. I just want to ask you, man, what goes into a Kanye West show creatively, man? Like, I mean, you're doing mountains, you're doing Jesus. It's like a movie.
Naked chicks, 16 clones of naked women.
What goes into the Kanye West production? How do you come to the idea that this is what we're going to do this tour this time around?
Yeah, I got a Donda creative group. Donda was my mother's name, and she made me. So I had to call my creative group Donda, because what would be the Kanye West of a show? What would be the Kanye West of a shoe? What would be the Kanye West of an album or something like that? So we I'm not a type of person that just goes in by myself and works on an idea and says, this is what it is. I like to put myself next to people who I think are more skilled than me at something. And we put all that together, and then we just deliver something that's, like I said last night, a demo tape of what Disney eventually got to. You know, like I don't see like a ceiling of an outlet of creativity based on an amount of Grammys or something, or based on an amount of radio spins. Like, look at what Steve Jobs did. Look at what Walt Disney did. Look at people who created past any level of, any musician. You get in this box of being considered to be a musician. You get so good at something, that's all somebody wants you to do, or they classify you as that.
I've always said, though, that you're the only artist to me that has refused to conform to anything, even yourself. Like, you're not even the same as the last Kanye from album to album. Yeah. So, I mean, how do you maintain that? Like, always challenging yourself, always jumping outside the box.
I just want more. I just see more. I mean, the universe, the world is spinning, and I just don't. I'm not trying to stop the world. I'm trying to keep spinning with it and keep giving contributions. I have new ideas all the time. The more and more I travel, the more places I live. I got a place in Paris. I got a place in LA. I look at, as soon as I'm in Chicago and I'm hearing certain type of songs, it gives me a different type of perspective than when I'm in Atlanta hearing that song, and I've always had this connection. That's been part of my success over the past 10 years of creating.
We're talking to Chicago's very own Kanye West, and I just heard you say that you want to work with people that are more skilled than you are, but that's something that you haven't heard you say in a long time. So if Kanye is so creative and so skilled in all of the different ways that Kanye is, who would you think that you could work with that you would feel would be more skilled than you would be?
Yeah, everybody I work with is more skilled than me at something, some particular,
like in different specific areas.
Like I worked with my driver this morning, and he got me here. He was more skilled at getting me to this, and more skilled at driving than me. Yeah, the highest level professional. No, but meaning like, how when I had that interview with Sway and he caught me off guard with that dumbass question, like, why don't you do it yourself?
And you told him you don't know all the answers, Sway. You don't have the answers.
Yeah, and it's like
I do this.
Yeah, they caught me off guard because, and what I don't like about what he did was, man, it's all these people out here gunning for me. And the only reason why I talk about production and factories is because I want to bring more ideas to the world. I want to make a bigger contribution. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and so we talk about someone who could do something better than me. Like, if I wanted to make my own sneaker and said, I'm going to do a sneaker that's as hot as the Jordan, but I'm going to do it without Nike or without Adidas, how you think that sneaker would come out? It come out like we made out some cardboard or some fabric
like
or something.
Stephon Marbury shoes.
I can't mention nobody's shoes, but it wouldn't have been the Yeezy. It's like that. If I tried to make my child without Kim Kardashian,
boom. I mean, I'm just saying.
But wait a minute, but
she wouldn't have came out as good.
But hold on, brother. Now, the only reason I have a problem with that is because
you can't have a problem with nothing.
The genius that Kanye is, the guy that you are.
Don't set yourself up to have a problem with nothing I'm saying.
Okay, all right. Well, I disagree. Well, we can agree to disagree.
We can't. Because everything I'm saying, I'm not disagreeing with none of y'all. I've come here to express exactly how I feel.
So you don't think without Nike you couldn't build a nice shoe?
I'm not looking for no suggestions from none of y'all.
I'm not giving you a suggestion. I'm just telling you. I'm asking you.
I told the answer before the question was asked. I'm not
that
looking
you couldn't
I'm not looking for no suggestions.
Well, you gotta figure it out.
I'm not looking for no suggestions.
Recently announced.
You are God. I mean, I can't. What can I say to that? You are God. If the answer's been answered before the question's been asked,
man.
Yeah, okay.
You recently announced a new deal with Adidas. You left the Nike brand behind. What do you think that Adidas is going to be able to do that Nike wasn't able to do, as far as making you happy with the deal? And do you think the shoe is going to be as dope as the Yeezys were?
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be dope. Everything's going to be dope. It's just like having a record deal. Simple as that. Like what if I had been stopped at the College Dropout and I never got a chance to make Gold Digger, and I never got a chance to make Can't Tell Me Nothing. I never got a chance to get to Niggas in Paris. You know, with Nike, they were trying to confine the idea. They'd always send celebrity marketing to me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wait, I'm a designer. I'm a creative. Why don't you just let me create? I got some ideas right here. And you saw with these two Yeezys that I did how much they work. You know, and at a certain point, they brought a contract finally after I did those BBC interviews. And, you know, I looked at the Adidas contract, I looked at the Nike contract, and I looked in my daughter's eyes, and I made the decision that I needed to make to be able to expand, you know, my ability to make product. You know, in the future.
Her precious eyes, because she's so beautiful.
You recently said that now you're a father, you go into these situations with a whole different mindset. Before, you, like you said, I would be happy to just sit down with Nike and they say, hey, we're going to give you this bread. But now, as a father, you take all of that into consideration.
Yeah, as y'all could look at my interviews over the past 2 months, I'm in no way attempting to be cool. You know, I know how to do a good, cool, smooth interview and everything. And people are, we like Ye. I don't care, man. You know, I just want to make this stuff. Like, because people didn't like me. You remember I was running up to these radio stations with GLC, and we was trying to like that. People didn't. People thought that people thought that I was crazy back then. Why you even try? You produce for Jay-Z, man. Why you even trying to rap? What else?
World record holders, go getters, the whole nine.
But do you remember when
Days
people
at
were
Riddles?
that?
Of course.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, do you, when you're bringing that up, it's like, the Kanye then. I always feel, and I'm gonna be honest with you, Kanye, I always feel like I'm defending you when people are like, yo, this guy's crazy, he's mad, he's kind of losing his mind. And I always said, and I always said publicly, and I do say this, that I remember the Kanye that I knew back in the day, like 10, 11 years ago, that everybody kind of shot down, but he ended up proving himself, and then he became a headliner for people. So where has the Kanye West that was trying to go for his goals to now he's made it? That person still exists there, and I know he does. Is he just frustrated?
It's the same person.
Right, so explain that.
What's changed is nothing. That's the whole point. Usually, when people are to a place where people look at them as successful, at that point, they're supposed to change. I have not changed. I'm the same person that was in Chicago trying to rap, talking about this is what I want to do. I have not changed my mentality at all.
Just more vocal about it?
I'm equal. I'm just bigger, I guess. I get more headlines, but I said the same thing. I've been saying the same thing the whole time. I want to create this. And if you look at it, it's only one or two things that's going to happen. Either I'm going to be right or I'm going to be wrong. Now, over the past 10 years, I was right. So I'm going to bet on myself again for the next 10 years and for the next 20 years. I'm not talking about, trying to get radio spins. I expressed what I wanted to do on Yeezus, and then I showed y'all on the last track, like, I know how to make songs like this. I know how to put a chorus right here, and then this subject matter right here, and then it's another chorus. Okay, that's great. I know how to do that, but what I didn't know how to do was how to get Louis Vuitton to take a meeting with me when I was in Paris asking to take a meeting.
Yeah, what's up with that?
You mean before Yeezus or now?
Before Yeezus.
Before Yeezus.
Before I turned up and put that new Slaves video on every single luxury store across the world. And explain what I was, and it was before the interviews. And now I'm actually taking a meeting with Louis Vuitton in January because of the
twist their arm.
Man, sometimes when you come from Chicago, every now and then when you want to get your point across, you might have to, apply a slight amount of pressure. Because, let's do some statistics. The black dollar is worth $863 billion right now. It's going to be worth $1.1 trillion by, 2015. And I think in the same way how Louis Vuitton, if they want to, attack the Asian market, they might get an Asian designer. I believe that they need a black African-American representative. And I'll be very fine to go ahead and step into those shoes.
When you say, I've also heard you say you want to do your own and you want to surpass what Louis Vuitton and those people have done, but yet, and still I remember you said we're slaves to Nike. We're slaves to the different brands. Won't we then in turn become slave to Kanye West brand? How does that work?
Well, I would be fine with that also.
At least you honest. At least you honest about it.
But just in the time,
it's cool being master.
In the timeline, I was looking at our timeline, right, and I looked at my approach. Michael Jackson was able to break down something in his timeline that allowed me to become Kanye West to the fullest. He broke down the concept of urban. Every time I talk about clothes, you hear people use the word urban right off bat.
Right.
When Michael Jackson used to talk about his videos trying to get them played on MTV, people used to say urban. You don't think that. You think Michael Jackson. The greatest of all time. Right. So now it's like, there's some generational wealth. The guy that owns the Gucci group of Karen, his father became a billionaire. They decided to start buying up luxury brands, including y'all distracted me a little bit. I'm sorry. Y'all just started luxury brands, including a bag brand, an athletic company, and applying advertising and designers to it and creating what we call luxury brands today. There's a possibility I can get to that by the time I'm, mid 40s or in my 50s. But even if I was just able to break the first gate of being able to consistently design and not just be the advertising plate for something. I did those Louis Vuittons. I got a percentage off that. I got a nice little check. They sold out, and then they stopped it. I said, how you going to do that? You know what I'm saying? That's like you won a championship. Right. Like Jordan won a championship, and he got
hang the banner.
Yeah. And got fired from the Bulls. Yeah. Oh, no, let me explain something to y'all. Everybody be looking at, just how smooth Jordan is or how Jay-Z is. We really like that, especially with black men, when it's real smooth. Cool. Don't ruffle no feathers. You know what I'm saying? What I'm doing right now is a lot of people, let's look at why did Jordan go play for the Wizards? Why did he not come back to Chicago?
He felt dissed.
Because the Bulls would not give Jordan a piece. The Bulls would not give Michael Jordan
a piece of the Bulls.
A piece of the Bulls.
But Lakers gave Magic a piece of the Lakers.
And that's what I'm saying. But Jordan, is Jordan. That's why he is a smooth character and everything.
But to play devil's advocate, what was somebody Jordan won 6 titles for the Bulls. Will somebody just say Louis Vuitton and those guys are supposed to give you a piece of them because you made one shoe or because you made the Yeezys? Do you feel that way? Or if somebody was to say that, why should you get a piece of this?
Yeah, nobody said what I should get. I'm just talking about what I want to get and what I am going to get. And what I'm going to use my influence and my pressure to get.
Yeah.
Talk about the designers that...
Close the shop right now like you did the last time.
We've had it happen in hip-hop several times, even with Jay-Z and the Cristal brand. And he goes back to even back in the day with Gloria Vanderbilt made the jeans.
Or Tommy Hilfiger.
Talk about the designers that welcome the attention and their names getting mentioned in all these hip-hop records, but then consider the attention unwanted by them. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Talk about that. You call yourself the Louis Vuitton Don and the man wouldn't even take a meeting with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. We could drive these cars, we could promote all these companies, but at a certain point we gotta get a piece too. We have to eat too. And also, it's not just the economic element of it, it's just the creative element. For me, I'm a pure artist. I went to school right down the street at the American Academy of Art. And I remember, painting with watercolors, right? I remember losing a competition because I used watercolors so heavy like they were oils because I couldn't afford oil.
Aww.
And they told me that it didn't look like watercolor and that I hadn't used watercolor. They thought I used oil.
So you changed the game, right?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is,
it's just thick watercolor, man.
When you work with Louis Vuitton, when you work with Adidas, when you work with companies to this level, not just the factory, down here in Gary or something, you now painting with oils, and I am an oil painter. I'm an artist to the level of Michelangelo. I'm an artist of our times. I'm very elegant. The way I present myself, even the way I present an interview, the way I present myself stylistically, of the way I present the Watch the Throne, you know, and understanding what it meant to build that relationship with Ricardo Tisci, where when people didn't like the song Ham, the first time I ever saw the Dogs, the Givenchy Dogs, was on that artwork. That's a relationship I've been building for like 7 years, you know, when people was calling me names for being at the fashion show and wearing tight jeans and everything.
Yeah, but you know what? Since you're talking about like you do all of these fashion and high end and all of that, how does it feel coming back to your hometown? Like, you have all of this world and all this life. You have a home in Paris, you have in LA, your fashion, you have money to buy whatever the hell it is that you want. You're around the best of the best.
I can't buy Louis Vuitton, the entire company. I can't buy Soldier Field, so I don't have.
How do you feel coming back home? I mean, how does it make you feel knowing, look at how big you are. Kanye, people wait for you to take pictures with you, but you're home. Like, you're in the hood. You know what I mean?
It inspires me. Now, I'm going to tell you why it inspires me. The reason... People don't understand. You can maybe not understand why I want to do products so bad. And you don't have to. Right. You know, all you need to know is that I'm going to do what I want to do, and when I make it, y'all going to like it. If I came right now and handed each one of y'all a Yeezy CD, signed, everything, something I worked on, handed each one of y'all product, I handed to y'all, y'all be like, thanks for the CD. Now, if I came and handed each one of y'all a pair of Yeezys, it'll be like Christmas.
I could sell my others. I already got. You got me on that one. I'm legit.
You got to do me a favor, yeah. When you drop
paying on them.
Hey, I got to say this: when you drop the Adidas, you have got to talk to some of these store owners who be taking the shoes
and gouging the hell out of their
own auction. I had to give up one of my kids for the Yeezys. So I'm just like, damn, you're gonna take my daughter for the shoes. All right.
Let me just express a level where, you know, I appreciate Nike for allowing me the opportunity to express myself. It ain't like they wanted me to do a Yeezy. When I first came in, they said, "Can you just put the Touch of the Sky lyrics inside of these next LeBrons?"
No.
I said no, and I Chicago'd my way into finally having some Yeezys.
My way.
and I made like some Yeezys, but Nike would do these things to these. I know because I got friends that are store owners, and they'll say, "Okay, if y'all want these Red Octobers, you got to take these 10 other Nikes." Wait, and then they come to me and be like, "Oh no, we don't know when we even starting the net. We don't even know when the next ones are coming out." I'm saying that because y'all need to hear this in Portland. In Portland, listen, at the Nike campus, that methodology, is that the way you say the word?
Yeah.
That's not going to work. That's not going to work. All of this leveraging and extortion and all this, it's not going to work now because Kanye West, I'm at Adidas. The game is flipped already. It ain't nobody y'all can run to. It ain't nowhere you can hide right now.
You got to see.
I just got back from Germany. It was one of my greatest creative days in my life. We designed the entire women's collection. We designed the entire men's collection. And we designed 20 shoes.
Really?
We coming in September. And it's about to be a paradigm shift. And what I'm saying is be nice. Nike, be nice to these stores. Be nice to people.
Don't hate on them because they sell, they selling your stuff.
Yeah, be nice.
And you're not an enemy.
Yeah, and we not each other's enemies. But all that pimping and extortion and making people feel less of themselves, that's not going to happen no more. And it happens at work, too. It happens at people's jobs. It happens at school, you know?
Confidence, arrogance. Is there any separations between the two for Kanye? Because some people may seem you as arrogant, but some people may be insecure, and you're just a very confident person. Is there a fine line?
Yeah, for me, whatever it takes, you know, if you read the headlines that I have, like over the past three weeks or whatever, when the media is trying to, you know, demonize me or take the one bad thing that I've said and try to blow it out of proportion, it would be like if you like Toys R Us and stuff, right? Your kids like Toys R Us. So you tired of your kids liking Toys R Us, right? So what you do is you go and you buy your son every single toy you know they won't want. Bag it up in a package, call a newspaper headline, hand it to them on Christmas Day, let them open up each toy that they obviously don't like and say, that's Toys R Us. You sure you want to go to Toys R Us again? Now, man, they done passed up the PS4. They done passed up the go-kart. They done passed up the bike. So if you look at my interviews, right, they say, oh, he turned up at Sway Show. Or he compared himself to, you know, an officer. Or yeah, he compared himself to other human beings. if this building got hit by a plane right now, and we all passed away in this building, we all would be equal in that sense that we all got killed in that.
Dust.
So wait a second, we are each other. You know, it's like the world is all based on us not loving each other and us not loving ourselves. But where I start my thing is I love myself and I love y'all. About anything I've made, I bring joy when people pop in my CD, when people listen to All the Lights and they relate to that, like restraining order.
Flashing lights.
See my
Flashing
daughter.
lights is my issue.
Yeah, flashing lights when you or like.
But what
bound
about
or
cops
something.
in the military? Like, you pissed a lot of people off, yo.
You could say whatever you want. I think that in the same way how my cousin, who was a cop, he would be protective of he was in Oklahoma, no, Tulsa, and he was protective every day. He was on that beat and he was doing what he did. When I'm in that studio, you don't know how many times soldiers came to me and said, I listened to Jesus Walks when I was over there. Thank you for doing what you do. And what I'm trying to say is we are equal. We all equal. It's nobody else. But I don't look down at anybody. If anything, I look up to people. You know, so that comparison, whenever I compare myself to Steve Jobs, think about how I love myself. If I do a comparison to Steve Jobs and say, I want to be like that, or I'm inspired by you, that's giving him a compliment. Saying, like, you my inspiration. If I compare myself to a soldier or a cop, that's saying, I'm going to work every day and I'm on my grind. The same way how I respect the fact that they on the streets every day protecting us, or at war protecting us, I'm going to be in that studio. I'm going to be in Germany working on products, making sure that I contribute to the world in the same way that they contribute. Because I think a lot of times when people get famous or get money or become a celebrity, they feel like their contribution needs to be less. And all they got to do is just go to the store and buy a bunch of Louis Vuitton or whatever. Right. Yeah. And I'm saying, I don't feel like that. I'm on my grind like I'm an officer. I'm on my grind like a soldier. I'm a soldier when I'm in that booth. And how many times have people said that? I speak in analogies and metaphors. I'm an artist. Don't try to rip an artist into becoming a politician. I'm an artist. I deal with truth and emotion. If I say something wrong, it's right, because that's what I felt. Feelings is the only facts.
Man.
All right, y'all. That's the man.
That's dope, man. It just sounds so much better when the brother's not, you know what I'm saying? When he's not turned up, you know, like I felt it more, man.
Right, on
He
that
knows
note,
what's hard.
World record hold us. I still got that.
Yo, weekdays starting at 5 a.m. only on GCI.